very, very worrying situation and in the news for a while now. And while there are people who say that, oh, no, 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 majority of the Sikhs don't want Khalistan, or that is just a few outliers or a few, bad elements, etc. It seems to be a pretty bad, especially what happened in Ajnala. And recently, well, I mean, nothing to do with this, I'm hoping, but there was a young kid from Canada who died in that recent celebration. So I don't know if they're connected in any way, but he was killed, right, yesterday in that holy Hola Mohalla, something like that. Uh,
Yeah, basically holy
Holy,
celebrations.
yes. But coming to Amritpal in particular, this mysterious figure who suddenly seems to have been airdropped into this in the middle of this entire scenario, and seems like he's like now the poster boy for Khalistan in India. What can you tell us about the situation, Sanjay ji?
Well, I know as much as everybody else does that this guy was working in Dubai as a transporter, and then suddenly somebody saw a vacancy
Mm.
when Deep Sidhu died,
Yes.
and kind of transported the transporter into that vacant space without any kind of approval from the original members or even the family members. And he has kind of hijacked that organization.
Mm.
And there has been, I would say, that incompetence all around.
Mm.
You see, as far as this Khalistan business is concerned, it is a separatist idea, and this separatist idea has been around for over 100 years. And SGPC is the vehicle for this idea of separatism, a separate Sikh identity, that Sikhs are not Hindus. All these ideas are basically chaperoned and promoted by the SGPC, because SGPC itself is a byproduct of British intervention into Sikhi. I think we have talked about it a number of times. How a guy called MacAuliffe was inserted into Sikhism and became what I call the 12th Guru. Now we have the 10 Gurus and we have the Guru Granth Sahib.
Yes.
And suddenly this 12th Guru appears, and SGPC is the torchbearer of that 12th Guru. And that is why I call it completely illegitimate.
Mm.
Unfortunately, the Indian polity hasn't had the courage to look SGPC square in the face and tell them that you're illegitimate. And because they're not able to tell that, then these illegitimates have been cornering the institutions, especially in Punjab, and they have been cornering the narrative. BJP was also very happy to go along with them, to the extent that they actually did an amendment in the SGPC Act in 2016, something that the Manmohan Singh government did not allow. The pressure on them was there right since Manmohan Singh became Prime Minister, but they did not allow that. And they again, to pander to SGPC and to consolidate their hold on the Gurdwaras in Punjab, they allowed that amendment in the SGPC Act, and they took out the Sahajdharis,
Mm.
that is non-Keshdharis, from the collegium.
Oh.
So, of course, we know the links of Aam Aadmi Party with Khalistan. They have been their funders, so this is payback time. So theirs can be understood, but I am totally unable to understand the lack of civilizational knowledge of the BJP RSS.
Mm. Correct.
And even as the law and order is concerned, even there, we heard the chief of the BJP talking that, okay, if the state government asks us, then we will go in, or something like that. But that's not the scheme of the Constitution. The Constitution clearly stipulates in Article 355, it says that it is the duty of the central government to protect a state against armed external aggression and internal disturbance, both. So when are they going to come to a conclusion that this is an internal disturbance? The way the law and order has collapsed, Punjab is staring at a situation where internally, actually, they are internally disturbed. The AFSPA has been promulgated in many parts of India for much less.
Correct.
And here is your key border state,
Hmm.
which has been completely subverted through drugs, through weapons, through
Christianization.
separatist music.
Yes. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
That separatist music is quite rife in Punjab.
Hmm.
And if you look at this Sidhu Moosewala
Flexible.
murder and all that, Sidhu Moosewala is quite in the forefront of those
Correct, correct, correct.
rousing pro Khalistani kind of music.
Music. Hmm.
So all this has been going on. The narrative is being built. Ultimately, I agree completely with the people who say that most of these Sikhs do not favor Khalistan is because they have seen the mayhem that happened. Majority of the people who were killed during those Khalistan turbulent years were the Sikhs. In fact, they would be the first one even today. Those who disagree with this narrative would be the target, they would be the first target even today.
Hmm.
But then the center says that no, it's a law and order problem. It's not law and order
It's not
problem.
flawed.
It's
Yes.
an existential problem, and it has to be tackled not just at the problem point of law and order. It has to be tackled at the level of narrative. But as far as narrative is concerned, I think the record of this
Government.
present BJP government everywhere, whether abroad or within India or X place or Y place, has been quite pathetic. So I don't have much hope from them because internally they are not capable of taking on this narrative building, narrative countering exercises, and they won't even help the independent people who actually do a fine job of it. So both ways, it's lose lose. It's not a win win situation.
That's
It's a
very,
lose lose
very
situation.
tragic because, like you pointed out, Punjab is a. I mean, it's a key. It's very important. I mean, that is most. I think you lose Punjab, you make India vulnerable, right? So it's like, which is why probably it's been at the forefront of so many attacks. It's always been at the receiving end. And I think for particularly worrying is also I think the quick and rapid Christianization of that entire region. So I feel maybe do you think all
Yes,
these
it's
factors?
again due to SGPC. It's again
Mhm.
the SGPC is doing because SGPC is basically uh, it's no longer an inclusive organization which represents all Sikhs, and very deeply discriminatory caste practices abound. SGPC has been hijacked by one community, the Jats,
Jats? Okay.
and they make fun of everybody. And if a particular section uh, goes over to Christianity, they are happy.
They're okay with that.
They are perfectly happy.
Oh boy. Mm.
They're perfectly happy that okay, now the Jats get to control even more. So
Mm.
they throw out Sahajdaris, they call Nirankari as heretics, they call Namdari as heretics, everybody, except at the time of election when everybody becomes Sikhs. At the time of election, they
Everyone
will
is
count Sikhs as okay, 56% or 6 or 57% of
mm.
Punjab is Sikh. But as soon as the elections are over, out of that 57, they about 30% they take out and say that okay, now only 25% Jats are the only Sikhs.
Mm.
Oh, the government has to,
Yes,
the
rain
central
it.
government, this is job of the central government to tackle this narrative head on.
Mm.
After all, somebody like Puneet Sani sitting in New York alone can rattle them so much. And if the government decides to do it, then they
Correct.
can nip this whole business in the bud.
I think many a time.
The normal Sikh farmer, especially in the rural areas, who is the main target of all these subversive activities, is a very good person.
Mm,
But then, if you keep bombarding him day in and day out, then where is this going to lead to? Look at Pakistan. What has happened there? Or look at the Kashmir Valley. What you see there is the result of a sustained indoctrination of 50, 60, 70 years.
correct.
So you have to intervene. You can't just sit that and say, कि,
Internal
जब the
problem.
state government बोलेगी तब हम सहायता करेंगे.
करेंगे. Correct.
That's ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.